and girls, allow me to reintroduce my nemesis, at least up until this week. The Galaxy GX2547, which some guys are starting to clamor over, and that's solely because there are not many options. This one is actually going to a customer who we did a conversion for on a different radio, and as life would have it sometimes, it did not work out so well. The radio had a couple hidden issues, and rather than spend time trying to rebuild an old dog, I just did a swap and gave him this one. Well, when the gentleman showed up, we're putting it all together, and like every other radio on the face of the planet, I had manipulated some of these buttons. These were his channels, and in the midst of swinging this thing around, I bumped one of these buttons, and after that, it was downhill. Then the display went out. Then the sound went out. And then it went nuts, and the customer was looking, and I can only imagine what he was thinking, but once again, those who are smart, sit down and be quiet and wait, get rewarded. I spent 2 days with the schematic, the interconnect diagram, with a busted front panel out of another 47, and we snatched panties off this thing and figured out what all its little issues are. Gentlemen, first thing, on the regular 47, right here under NB, is a button to turn this clarifier on. Now, that's the switch that initially got goofed on me and started the whole chain reaction of me just finally, you know what, let's figure this frickin' radio out. So, I deleted that switch. Now, if you get to looking inside this radio, you'll notice, here's the clarifier. Up around here is this board. So, for the sole purposes of being able to push that button and then use your clarifier, which I think is stupid, clarifier should be active all the time in whatever manner you choose to use it, locked or unlocked. And you should be getting that done when you get your work done at your local shop. Okay? However, but if you want your 2547, now here, I want you to look at that 50 right there. Once this thing is warmed up, and it takes a while, but once this thing is warmed up, the thing don't move. And the reason why? Well, A, we put all Galaxy knobs where we could on here to make it look nice. But he has a 10-turn counter now for his clarifier. 175. There's the center channel. There's dead in between 17 and 18. Okay. So the bottom line is this is now a 10-turn spread for what used to be a 1-turn spread. So you know how easy it is? See how easy it is? Just dial that in and turn it nice and slow. We ain't got to be glitchy. You just dial it on back up to 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there it is. And for the most part, it will stay there. It will not move after this radio is warmed up. Okay. So that's the first thing we did. And then this, on the normal radio, this guy goes through this board before it gets to your main board. That is one broken connection. Now, when I say broken connection, guys, understand me. When I say broken connection, I mean anything that's not soldered. If it plugs in, it's a broken connection. If it's a PL259, it's a broken connection. If it's a mic plug and you screw it in, it's a broken connection. Anything that's not soldered, okay? So now, on this very critical piece of the radio, now notice that thing ain't moved off 5 since I set it there. This thing will come off. One broken connection plugged into the board for the original clarifier control. Comes up, plugged into the board. There's another broken connection. And then another broken connection where it comes out of the board, all the way over to the broken connection where it plugs into the board. That's stupid. Sorry, whoever designed this radio, you're an idiot. Don't need, that's called smoke and mirrors. That's so that we can add extra buttons so you feel like you're buying something. It's ridiculous. So, and next to it was the GNF. I don't know exactly, I've never read the book. I don't know exactly what it stands for. Some kind of a narrow frequency deal. They didn't invent it, so I don't think it's Galaxy narrow frequency. But in any of these that I've ever had, and I've had a few of them, I tore them out, or I just didn't use them. So since I had this button, now here's the problem is, guys, once these buttons are destroyed, I don't know if I have the other panel handy, and I do. Anybody want to come and help me fix about 50, 60 radios? Hell, I don't know. We got quite a few here. But what's going on with this radio is this guy. This is the fault of the 2547. Right there. Main panel. Clarifier goes through here. Voltage for your dimmer goes in and out of this. PA goes in and out of this. Now, usually, there's something else I don't like about this radio. Anybody who's ever bought one and taken it right out of the box, notice to see those digits with the 8s? Well, now the bottom ones are bent, obviously, because this is getting knocked around. But these are pretty rigid. That's the way you come out of the box, all crooked and shit. I straighten those when we do the point of this is, guys, now, we have a Super Duty conversion for the 47. And that's what I'm showing you now. So the first thing is here. When we take this apart, we straighten all those digits. Just tell me that don't look 100% better than these cockeyed mullah humpers that were going to be in whatever radio this was in. Take some time. Fix their mistakes. So that's the first thing the first thing that happens is this clarifier gets bypassed. It no longer goes to this board. All that this board does is monitor the reference from the main board. So now the clarifier is getting plugged straight into the PLL circuit. No more trickery. I did lock the light on because, what the hell, lights are lights. But then I took these two spots. These are now as extra channels. First one is one set of uppers. Second one by itself are lowers. Both of them together is another set entirely. So the holes for the switches that were useless didn't get wasted. We put useless stuff in it. So now, not only does it slide all the way down to half a channel plus, the digits are straight, the channels are right there where you can grab them, the clarifier don't jump all over the place. That in and of itself makes this radio 9,000,000% better. But do you think we stop there? No, it's a Super Duty converter. So, we ripped out his power supply and built a 2. Oh, and his echo board. These are his echo controls. This is his repurposed out of a Galaxy Saturn Turbo echo board, and in here it sounds wonderful. Now this guy, this is our 4th generation Super Duty board for base stations. The only way you can get this board is if I put it in your radio. We do not sell these in boxes as individual amplifiers. Okay? But this is his board. So now the way this radio is set up right now, I've got it hooked up to my bird cage. This is my personal Z-Box. Yes, we call them bird cages. I'll explain that later. Let's go over to the meter. We are on peak. Grab a mic. We're on the what? 200 watt scale. Radio by itself. Let's see what kind of carrier we're getting with the radio by itself. Turn all the way down. It's a 6 watt carrier. Turn all the way up. It's an 11 watt carrier. That's just the radio. Okay. Max 20 watts, obviously. So we'll go to the 20 watts, the 200 watt scale. About 18 watts of peak swing. But then he reaches over right here. Now I have to relabel this because this is amplifier off, amplifier on AM, amplifier sideband. Now I gotta line those back up once I make my piece. So let's just turn the amplifier on AM. Power's all the way down. It's 10 watt dead key with the radio turned all the way down. 200 watts of peak swing. That is right out the back of this radio. Now, that in and of itself is pretty freaking cool. So that is now what we are calling our Super Duty conversion for a 2547. Many times you guys have heard me say we do not do conversions on this radio because it dies rapidly. Well, I've got it figured out. I've got its ass in my briefcase. We will do it now. However, if the radio has already been worked on and whatever the work that's been done on it does not jive with the conversion that I have developed for this particular radio, we will have what's called the UF fee. And pardon my French, but that's called our unfuck fee. Okay? $399 for this conversion. If you have a 2547 and you were one of those guys who were in a hurry and paid $400 for it on Amazon when they were all way high. I think they still might be that high. Okay, it's fine. You got your radio, but now what you got is something that needs a lot of work. That's what you got. You didn't buy a radio to use. You got no extra channels. You got no slides. It's going to drift all over the freaking place. You'll notice the whole time this video's been running, 1750 ain't freaking moved. It ain't coming off it. The conversion makes this radio so stable. It's almost like running a freaking Ranger with a digital controller on the front. But what you're seeing is where this thing has decided to rest. Now, I can take it off 50. This clarifier is perfectly functional. Okay, if you're outside, man, this is already way past where you'd want to be. Okay, but you see how many times I'm turning this counter? This knob? It turns 10 times to achieve your normal sweep. Now, let's see how far down we can go. I did do some trickery in this clarifier circuit, but I don't know how far down I go. If I wanted to move my center slot to 3 o'clock, I could make this go down a full channel. We're not going to do that. So, but what I'm saying is, once you dial it to 50, guys, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know you younger guys haven't seen some of the real shit yet. That does not move once you set it there. Okay, it's not supposed to. Just like my Kenwood down there, it don't ever move unless I unlock the frequency button on it. So, there's the 2547 conversion, gentlemen. We have one now. If it's been worked on and it does not jive with our conversion, we will have to undo what's been done, and it is an extra $50. Other than that, if you send me one brand new or one that has not been tore up, we will do the full conversion on it. 30 amp power supply on the back, 2 amp inside, 10 turn clarifier, echo board, digits all straightened out, buttons bypassed, extra frequencies on the front, nice and neat, even nicer than this one. We got nicer buttons coming. With an optional 200 watt PEP 2 board that, by the way, does not get hot. Guys, if that ain't worth $400, go ahead and spend $900 on a freaking $29.95 and then bring it down here so I can stomp on that $29.95 with a 47. Bring your wallets. We'll do it live on YouTube. The people on YouTube love it. But anyway, I'm just saying, we finally got it. It's taken 2 years, a lot of cussing, a few busted radios, and mainly just because I never took the time to sit down and autopsy one. Well, that's what we did. Well, in the midst of autopsy, and then I rebuilt this one because it kind of belonged to a customer. So, but now here's the benefit. This is all you got to run. You're standing around talking to your guys locally, you turn that off. You run your 20 watts. You want to shoot a little DX. Oh my, look, it's still on 50. If you have one of these and you're looking at that, I promise you, you're sitting there going, how in the fuck did he get that to do that? Well, Superduty conversion. That's how you get it done. Because we don't do just clarifiers. You have to get the whole conversion done. So now he wants a little bit of power. He wants to shoot DX. He turns it on, bam. You got 10 watt dead key and 200 watts of swing. That's worthy to shoot skip with. But what I like about it is, and kind of what I had in the back of my mind is, now, this is my birdcage. You know, our birdcage line of amplifiers. Well, everybody says, "409, why do you call it a birdcage?" Well, our emblem is coming. We had our logo done. But everybody usually asks you, how many bird watts does your amp do? How many real watts? How many slug watts? Okay. No peak reading. We rate all of our amplifiers in what the numbers say they should be. That is a pair of 3-500Zs. 2 500 watt average power pills or power tubes. Okay. That makes this a birdcage 1000. Okay. We've got a nice little emblem that's coming. You guys are going to love it. It's got this. It's just, you guys are going to love it. Wait till it comes. We'll show you that. But anyway, when we built this, I know he's also got some toys to play with that require that kind of drive. So I put it on my bitch. Oh, excuse me. On my birdcage. I call it my bitch. So let's take her off standby. This is what I love about the way he's at. Watch that triplet meter. Bam. You know what that means, gentlemen? Business. Okay, now we got the birdcage on. I'm not even going to tune it because we had it tuned already. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to the 2,000 watt scale. That's a nice 250 watt dead key. Smack in 2,000 watts. Let's go to the 4,000 watt scale. Could be a hair above that one, I believe. It's about 1200, 1150, 1200 watts of PEP. Okay? Now, just for fun, let's shut this off. Let's go to RMS on the 2000 watt scale. Yeah. Right now, the way I've got my input to, I'm only cracking 300 of RMS. But look at the peak. Yeah. It's crazy. I think I must have touched. Oh, I'm still on 4,000 watt scale. That's why. RMS. Here we go. RMS. See, I got too many buttons even for me. So now we're on RMS scale on 2,000 watts. Yeah. No, that's peak. So we're peaking too. Dropping mics and RMSing. That's right, about 400 watts. Right now with what we're driving it with. Now you have to keep in mind, this radio will take more RMS, or this amp will take more RMS input than this radio actually has to give. The board that we designed for this radio had to be a specific type of animal. Okay? It makes great swing and it makes the radio loud. It is not meant to be in and of itself an amplifier, although you may use it that way. However, anybody who's got a straight 2547, I don't care where you got it, from Lescom or wherever, I don't care where you got it. If y'all want to play, bring them down. We'll put them on your equipment, on my bench, live on YouTube. I promise you, every time, this Super Duty is going to wipe its ass. That's just it. So there it is, gentlemen. The 2547 is now worthy. Not only is it, was that 50? 21750 ain't moved an inch. Okay? That's the way love goes around here. So, if you guys are interested, if you want to make that kind of cool radio, a real freaking radio, 409radios.com, 708-515-1480. This one's going to Chicago. And Lord have mercy, they're going to be mad at him and me. But it don't matter, because we make it do what it do, baby. We'll talk to you guys later. Stay safe. 7-3.